By morning, the Riva mansion will burn. Malibu Rising story. Summary by Taylor Jenkins Reid. By morning, the Riva mansion will burn. Flames will lick the sky, swallowing glass and wood, erasing laughter and leaving only ashes behind. But fire does not begin with destruction. It begins with a spark, and tonight, in Malibu, California, August 1983, the spark is a party. Not just any party, the party. The one everyone waits for. The one that draws the brightest stars, the wildest dreamers, and the most dangerous secrets. It is Nina Riva's annual end-of-summer bash. And before the night is over, it will change everything. Malibu. The air smells of salt and eucalyptus, of ocean mist rolling in with the tide. Surfers wait on the waves, chasing one last perfect ride before sunset paints the sky in shades of orange and blood red. Atop the cliffs, the Riva estate gleams, a beacon of wealth, fame, and mystery. Everyone knows the Riva siblings. Everyone wants to be near them. But few understand what it costs to be a Riva. The Riva family first. There is Nina Riva, the eldest. A surfer with the sea in her veins, a supermodel with the world at her feet. She carries herself like the tide, steady, powerful, inevitable. Yet behind the glossy magazine covers and dazzling smile lies a woman abandoned by her father long ago. And now abandoned once more by her husband, a tennis star who traded vows for headlines. Nina never asked for attention. And tonight she doesn't want it. But she is the host. She is the center. And in Malibu, no one shines brighter than Nina Riva. Then there is Jay, the golden boy, a champion surfer whose name carries weight on every beach. He lives for the ocean's rush, for the glory of the next wave. But tonight, his eyes are not on the water. They are on a girl he can't stop thinking about. A girl he hopes will walk through the door before the night is done. Where Jay surfs, HUD captures. He is the quiet one, the thoughtful one, his lens framing the world with precision. A renowned photographer, HUD sees beauty in what others overlook. But tonight his gaze hides guilt. For there is something he must confess to Jay. Something that could shatter the bond they have shared since birth. And then, Kit, the youngest. Still finding her place in the world, still testing her strength against the tides of expectation. Kit watches her siblings with the mix of admiration and defiance. She has secrets, too. One of them is the invitation she slipped to a guest no one else knows is coming. Together, they are the children of Mick Riva. A name that once made crowds scream. A voice that once filled stadiums. Mick Riva, the legendary crooner. The father who sang love songs to the world but gave so little to his own family. His absence shaped them. His choices scarred them. And even here, in Malibu, where waves crash, stars glitter, the shadow of Mick Riva lingers, the anticipation. The invitations are never printed. They don't need to be. Word spreads on the wind. By sunset, the town is buzzing. By midnight, the world will descend upon the Riva home. But right now, the house is quiet. The siblings are scattered, each wrapped in their own thoughts, their own secrets. Soon, the doors will open. Music will thrum. Glasses will clink. And bodies will flood the mansion. But for the Rivas, the real storm brews beneath the surface. And when the night explodes into chaos, when truths unravel and lies ignite, nothing will ever be the same. Because by morning, the Riva mansion will burn. The buildup and the party begins. The sun slips lower, gilding the Pacific in molten light. Shadows stretch across the cliffs. Down on the sand, surfers linger, dragging boards across wet sand, casting glances upward. Every year, the story is the same. No invitations, no flyers, no announcements. And yet, everyone knows, everyone comes. Because Nina Riva's party is not just a party, it is a party. The one where Hollywood collides with Malibu, where stardom rubs shoulders with youth and chaos, where you might find yourself dancing beside an actor whose face is on every billboard, or kissing someone whose name you'll only learn after dawn. But for the Riva siblings, this night is not about fame. It is about survival. Nina stands at the window, the ocean breeze lifting her hair. She has been abandoned before, and she knows the sting. She knows the silence left behind when someone chooses the world over you. Her husband, her tennis star, chose the headlines, the applause, the spotlight. And so tonight, Nina wears her strength like armor. She will host, she will smile, she will keep the world entertained. But inside, her heart beats heavy, fragile as glass. Jay and Hud. Meanwhile, Jay sharpens his restlessness into focus. He checks the clock, then his reflection, then the door. She promised she would come. The girl. The one who haunts his thoughts like the crash of waves in the middle of the night. Tonight might be the night he finally speaks the truth he's been carrying. Hud watches his brother with quiet dread. He knows that when the girl arrives, everything will unravel. Not because of her, but because of him. Hud has a confession, one that slices like broken glass. He and Jay have been inseparable since birth, but tonight Hud must speak words that could fracture them forever. Kit. And then, Kit. She is fire wrapped in curiosity, restless energy bottled in the youngest Riva. She is tired of being the shadow, the little sister. Tonight, she intends to step into the light. But Kit has secrets too. A guest she invited in secret, a spark she lit without telling her siblings. And when that guest arrives, the flames will only spread. The guests arrive. By the time the sky deepens to midnight blue, the first cars pull up the winding drive. Engines hum, doors slam. Laughter erupts, carried on the cool ocean air. And just like that, the Riva mansion is alive. Music spills from the speakers, low at first, then louder, pulsing through walls and floorboards. Bottles pop, glasses clink, and Malibu's golden youth pour through the doors, followed by actors, models, musicians, and strangers who came simply because they knew this was the place to be. Everywhere you turn, someone is watching, whispering, wanting to touch the edge of fame that surrounds the Rivas. But fame is a fragile thing. It draws moths to flame, and flame consumes. Secrets ignite. The Riva mansion is a furnace of sound and heat. By midnight, the crowd had doubled, then tripled. Strangers drift through the hallways. Smoke curls from lit cigarettes. Someone has climbed onto the roof. Someone else is skinny dipping in the pool. The walls pulse with music. The floors shake with footsteps. And yet, beneath it all, the real tension simmers inside the Riva family. Nina drifts from room to room, the perfect hostess, her face a mask of grace. Cameras flash when she passes. Voices hush, then swell again. Everyone sees the beauty, the poise, the fame. No one sees the exhaustion. No one feels the weight pressing on her chest. And then it happens. A careless comment, a cruel whisper carried through the crowd. Did you hear? Her husband left her for someone younger. The words slice deeper than glass. Nina's composure cracks, if only for a moment. She vanishes from the spotlight, fleeing to the cool night air of the balcony. There, she stares out at the black expanse of ocean, where waves crash endlessly against the shore. The sea has always been her refuge, but tonight it offers no comfort, only questions. How many times can one person be left behind before stop believing in love at all? Jay, Hud, and Kit inside. Jay finally sees her, the girl who's haunted him for months. He pushes through the crowd, every step filled with urgency. Tonight, he will tell her. But Hud steps into his path. Jay, he says, nearly drowned out by the music. There's something I need to tell you. Words spill out. Confession, betrayal, white-hot anger, years of brotherhood hang by a thread. Meanwhile, Kit's secret guest arrives. Her heart pounds with thrill and fear. The fuse is lit. By 2 a.m., the house is unrecognizable. Broken glass litters the floor. Voices rise, bodies surge, the mansion groans under the weight of it all. Outside, the wind shifts, dry, restless, carrying the scent of danger. Somewhere, a spark waits, the fire and the dawn. It begins quietly, a flicker behind curtain. By 3 a.m. The smoke is impossible to ignore. Someone screams. Panic cuts through the haze. The mansion, the Grand Riva estate, becomes a furnace. Guests scatter. Jay and Hud, Nina and Kit brace themselves. The house is a memory, legacy, stage of pain and love alike. And now, it is ash. By morning, the fire had consumed everything. Smoke coils into the sky. The Pacific crashes endlessly. But something remains. The Riva siblings. Scarred, changed, unbreakable. Family is not defined by who leaves. It is defined by who stays. By morning, the Riva mansion had burned to the ground. But from its ashes rose the Rivas themselves. Scarred, changed, unbreakable.